Oh man, Kristi Noem walked into a Homeland Security hearing this week like she was ready to pump out all the cable news clips, and she ended up running out with her political career in shambles. I'm Josh, and this is Ring of Fire Weekends. We're going to start with the moment that we've all seen that broke the hearing. Representative Seth Magaziner asked Kristi Noem point blank if the DHS was deporting veterans, which she said, "We haven't deported any U.S. citizens or military veterans." Whoops. We all saw the look on her face, well, as much as a Mar-a-Lago face can show any emotion, when Representative Magaziner introduced via Zoom on an iPad Se-Jun Park, a Purple Heart Army veteran. And this was a real-time fact check with a name and a face right there in the room. Se-Jun Park was shot twice serving his country in Panama. And then after struggling through addiction and PTSD, he got his life together. And he was checking in every year with immigration officials, every year, with no problems. And what did we give him for all of his service, all of his sacrifice, and for following the rules? He was told to self-deport to Korea, a country he left when he was 7 years old. And this isn't just the veterans quip that was an outright lie from Kristi Noem. There are reports right now that 170, or even more than that, U.S. citizens have been detained by ICE agents, primarily at protests. There's no due process, no warrants, no badge numbers, and now no First Amendment either. And then, when Benny Thompson pressed Kristi Noem on her DHS violating asylum laws and court orders, she admitted it under oath with no shame. And then, of course, she did what every MAGA official eventually does after a bunch of grandstanding. She chickened out. She claimed she had a meeting and fled. We now know that that meeting was canceled. She didn't have somewhere to be. She just didn't want to be held accountable. And that is absolutely shameful. Look, let's look at the numbers because she really hates these. In 2025, ICE arrested nearly 75,000 people with zero criminal record. 73% of ICE detainees have no criminal convictions. Only 5% of them are these violent criminals that we were told that they were going after. We've got a total of 500,000 deportations, and 70,000 people are in custody as we speak. Many of them are in the hundreds of secret facilities hidden around the country that the DHS won't disclose. So when they're saying they're going after the worst of the worst, what they actually mean are people that are easiest to tackle before we got out of breath. And let's not forget about the stat that they love to brag about, the 1.6 million self-deportations. Let's translate that. That's 1.6 million people who came to America for opportunity. And then they decided, nah, this is terrifying. I'm out. That's not success. That's policy-induced panic. That's people looking at the American dream and saying, it's not worth it. You know, this administration governs in tough talk, this tough on crime cosplay, and they brand their MAGA-loving lives as cruelty. But here's the part they don't talk about. It's not all bad. It's not all bad news. Because while Border Patrol Barbie's out there selling fear, we're seeing real resistance, and it's working and it's growing. In the face of immigrants being detained at their own naturalization ceremonies, so much for the just do it the right way crowd, right in the face of violent and unconstitutional crackdowns, people are finally saying enough. We saw it in Charlotte. The community's rallying to push ICE out of their schools, out of their businesses, daycares, and streets. In Minneapolis, lawmakers passed ordinances blocking police from assisting ICE in their illegal operations, and they made it mandatory to report and intervene if somebody witnesses ICE breaking the law. In New Jersey and Chicago and elsewhere, laws are being passed to ban these federal agents from hiding behind their face masks while carrying out their raids. And that matters, because when a government is relying on fear and hiding from the truth to function, the one thing it can't survive is public resistance. The people are fed up and they're paying attention. They're no longer afraid to show it. And more than any hearing, any viral clips or sound bites you see out there, truth and transparency are what actually scares this administration. Thanks for watching that video. I'm Josh with ROF Weekends. Be sure to catch Jared during the week, and I'm going to see you next week with more great content. And if you don't already, be sure to check out these other videos. Give us a like, follow, subscribe, wherever those buttons are.